Hi, America. This is Kara again. So I gave a campaign speech a little while ago for my hypothetical run for something. And in my dream fantasy world, I would love to run under this party that I've created called the Democratic Renewalist Party, or the DRP. Unfortunately, that is unlikely to ever be a reality in my lifetime. So functionally, we have a two-party system in the United States. I believe in Congress we have 3 or 4 independents or non-Democrats or Republicans, but all of those people, I believe, caucus with one of the two major parties, making them not truly independent. It's extremely hard to be elected at the federal level without the support of one of the two major parties and their financing. And the two parties are so diametrically opposed at this point that you could just come up with any random issue, like pineapple on pizza, and if you threw it into a bill and handed it to Congress, they would immediately, I don't know which side would choose whether pineapple should go on pizza, but they would fucking fight to the death over it. And so we've kind of reached this stalemate in politics where we're not getting anything done. And that's kind of, and I hate to say it, but for a lot of Republicans, that's sort of the goal. Ask Grover Norquist how he feels about that. So this is mostly a creative writing project for funsies, because for multiple reasons. One, again, competing with the two major political parties, nearly impossible. Starting a political party officially, very difficult. I actually looked it up in my state. And then there are ethical considerations. So who are you pulling votes from? Who are you giving votes to? How are you changing the outcome of both primary and general elections? And without robust data on that kind of things, you could be causing more harm than you would like. So, that all being said, in my dream world, to complement my campaign, I am founding the Democratic Renewalist Party, the DRP, a wide net inclusive coalition that eschews alignment with either the Republican or Democratic establishments, focusing instead on the eradication of corruption and the advancement of policies centered on the future and human well-being, rather than on abstract positions along the traditional political spectrum. The American two-party system all but guarantees that Democrats and Republicans occupy nearly every federal office, even as 53% of registered voters have no formal party affiliation. This duopoly has heightened polarization and tribalism, leading citizens to adopt the beliefs and identities of their party rather than the reverse. Both major parties suffer historically low favorability in Congress. At the time that I wrote this and looked it up, it was 43% for Republicans and 42% for Democrats, resulting in the mere illusion of choice. Despite the central role of political parties, in practice, their concentration of power undercuts true representation and stifles emerging voices from minor parties and unaffiliated voters. It decreases congressional turnover, makes us more susceptible to propaganda, and limits the ability of young or non-wealthy candidates to emerge without becoming indebted to donors. A new party that focuses on generational issues and bridging generational divides, the Democratic Renewalist Party, is needed to break this cycle by emphasizing anti-corruption, evidence-based policy, and long-term humanitarian governance. The two-party duopoly fosters an us versus them mindset that stifles most major reforms, including those that would benefit almost all Americans. Affective polarization, emotional hostility towards the opposite party, has reached unprecedented levels, shaping even personal and social identities. Republicans and Democrats now differ more sharply on core issues than at any time in the last 2 decades. I'm actually surprised it hasn't been longer than that. These dynamics spill over into private life. Surveys show 1 in 2 American adults has estranged a close family member over politics, illustrating the corrosive power of tribal allegiance. This all creates a feedback cycle that can likely only be broken through a clean slate. And I would like that slate to be cleaned without resorting to violence. To transcend this dysfunction, the Democratic Renewalist Party will 1. Prioritize combating corruption, push to overturn Citizens United, strengthen ethics enforcement, enact mandatory civics examinations for candidates, endorse competent candidates, close lobbying loopholes, fight to expand the House so that all Americans get more equal and local representation. In 2025, there is no need for lawmakers to be physically present in a building. Long-term goals will include modernizing our election process, preventing/reversing political gerrymandering, granting statehood to DC, etc., because they pay taxes. There is no reason they should not be a state if they want to be. 2. Embrace evidence-based long-term governance. Rely on expert consensus, historical data, and scientific research to craft policies with multi-generational impact rather than 4 or 6-year electoral cycles. 3. Forge a broad, inclusive coalition. Unite progressives, independents, and unaffiliated voters under shared principles rather than rigid ideological labels. 4. Champion humane, humanitarian-focused policy. Prioritize immigration reform, healthcare workforce development, and social welfare balancing efficiency and pragmatism with empathy and idealism. 5. Advanced tech-savvy, globally collaborative solutions. Technology is advancing rapidly, and it's not going away. We have an urgent need to address issues regarding ethics and advancements in AI. Update antitrust and regulatory frameworks to address AI and platform monopolies, and collaborate internationally on climate, public health, and human rights. Make no mistake, this is not an enlightened centrist party. As far as major parties go, our objectives are probably most closely aligned with progressive Democrats. But we are a party of empathy with teeth. We can't appeal only to morality or pathos. We must be effective in our messaging and persuasive to the average person, recognizing that most people are driven primarily by self-interest. By challenging the binary party paradigm, this coalition seeks to restore genuine choice, curb corruption, and align American governments with the needs of today and the well-being of future generations. The Democratic Renewalist Party embraces that challenge. Its tenets: ruthless anti-corruption measures, data-driven policymaking, incremental universal care expansions, robust tech and AI-savvy governance, humane immigration, and a modernized ethics-bound judiciary. Unlike libertarians, it champions an efficient, caring state. Unlike Greens, it casts a wider net beyond environmentalism. Unlike today's Democrats, it rejects tribalism and long-standing norms in favor of pragmatic reform. So why a penguin, which is the animal I chose to represent the party, sort of like the elephant or the donkey. Emperor penguins epitomize cooperation, resilience in hostile climates, and communal responsibility, qualities the Democratic Renewalists strive to bring to American politics. They are social climate sentinels that work together to ensure the survival of future generations.